This audiobook reveals an ancient secret. The universe has a key, and it's already attuned perfectly to your heart's deepest desires. Listen carefully, for within this wisdom lies the hidden power to manifest without doubt, resistance, or repetition. The door to everything you seek is about to open. The universe has a key. Introduction. The ancient sages knew a profound truth, one quietly whispered across ages but forgotten by most seekers today. The universe holds a sacred key, finely tuned to the pure vibrations of your heart's first authentic desire. Contrary to popular belief, manifestation does not require endless repetition or restless pleading. Imagine planting a seed in rich earth. You do not disturb its growth daily, pulling it out repeatedly to verify its progress. Instead, you surrender to the natural divine order governing its unfolding. So must you trust the invisible yet perfect intelligence of the universe. Your initial heartfelt expression sends forth a single, powerful pulse, an unbreakable bond between your soul and the infinite cosmic wisdom. In the silent spaces between your thoughts, the universe listens, perceiving your intentions flawlessly. Each repetition of your desire thereafter subtly broadcasts doubt, weakening your divine alignment and creating resistance that clouds the clarity of your original intention. The sacred power of a single, unwavering intention thrives in solitude, free from the noise and skepticism of others. When you voice your wishes too often or too openly, you expose the purity of your desire to disruptive energies of doubt and judgment. Thus, your once clear signal becomes diluted, its potency diminished. This ancient understanding was safeguarded carefully by mystics, for it holds the keys to extraordinary power, a direct channel to the universal mind. Your encounter with this wisdom is no coincidence. It is divine synchronicity. The universe has prepared you precisely for this sacred revelation, entrusting you now with its timeless key. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Sacred Whisper Awakening to the Universal Secret. Chapter 1. The First Utterance. In the twilight of an ancient era, Eleanor, a temple priestess, ascended the worn stone steps of the sacred archive. Among dust-laden shelves, her hands found a crystalline vessel containing a scroll unlike any other. As she unfurled its delicate surface, golden letters shimmered, the first message ever exchanged between the divine and humanity. The scroll revealed a singular truth. In that first sacred dialogue, every wisdom humanity would ever need was already bestowed. The universe had spoken once with perfect clarity, embedding all knowledge in that initial communication. This ancient wisdom illuminates a fundamental truth about your relationship with universal intelligence. Just as that first divine message contained all, your initial expression of desire carries complete and perfect clarity to the cosmic consciousness. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, captures the essence of your intention the moment it springs forth from your heart. This truth has remained veiled through ages of misunderstanding, as many came to believe that repetition strengthens manifestation. Yet the universe operates with an intelligence far beyond mortal comprehension. It perceives not just your words, but the pure energy of your desire, recording it in the ethereal fabric of creation at the moment of its first expression. This single moment of alignment creates a covenant more powerful than 1,000 repeated requests. In the kingdom of the East lived Samuel, a royal messenger entrusted with carrying the king's decrees. One day, uncertain whether his first delivery had sufficient impact, he repeated the king's message to the same province several times. When word reached the king, he summoned Samuel and spoke. "Each time you repeat my command, you suggest that your first delivery lacked authority. In doing so, you diminish not just your own credibility, but the power of my word. So it is with the universe. When you repeatedly voice the same desire, you unknowingly broadcast doubt in the initial cosmic conversation. Each repetition suggests that you question whether your first communication was received or powerful enough, thereby weakening the very foundation of your manifestation. The practice of first utterance create a sacred space in your home, a private altar adorned with a white candle and a crystal or stone that resonates with your spirit. In complete silence, center yourself through 3 deep breaths. Light the candle, symbolizing the pure light of universal intelligence. Speak your desire once with absolute clarity and unwavering conviction. After speaking, place your hand upon your heart and bow your head in acknowledgement that your message has been received. Finally, extinguish the candle, symbolizing the completion of the cosmic conversation. This sacred act marks the transition from asking to receiving, from seeking to knowing. Chapter 2. The Veil of Illusion. In the bustling markets of an ancient trading post, Nathaniel spent his days examining precious goods, convinced he knew exactly how wealth should appear. His eyes constantly searched for gold and silver, rare spices, and exotic silks. Yet beneath his very feet lay scattered chunks of rough diamond, disguised as common rocks. Each day, he kicked these stones aside, too fixated on his predetermined vision of treasure to recognize the fortune literally crossing his path. It wasn't until a wise desert wanderer gathered these discarded stones that Nathaniel realized the immense wealth he had overlooked, wealth that exceeded even his grandest aspirations. Your mind, like Nathaniel's, creates an intricate veil of illusion through years of accumulated beliefs, expectations, and societal programming. This veil acts as a filter, screening out divine guidance that doesn't match your preconceptions of how abundance should manifest. The universe sends perfect guidance in every moment, yet these messages often go unrecognized because they don't align with your anticipated form of delivery. This veil of illusion manifests through rigid thinking patterns that whisper, "Success must look like this," or "Abundance can only come through that path." These thoughts weave together, creating a dense fabric that obscures the very blessings you seek to receive. The cosmic intelligence perpetually broadcasts guidance, yet your conditioned mind intercepts these transmissions, filtering out anything that doesn't match its predetermined patterns. In a distant mountain village lived Martha, a weaver renowned for her extraordinary tapestries. Though her early works showed skill, they remained bound by convention, until the day she lost her sight in an accident. Rather than abandon her craft, Martha continued weaving, now guided solely by intuition. To everyone's amazement, her blind woven tapestries surpassed anything she had created before, displaying patterns and color harmonies that defied traditional design. Without visual expectations limiting her creativity, Martha accessed a deeper wisdom that transformed her art into masterpieces. The Veil Dissolution Ritual. In the silence of twilight, gather these materials: a bowl of clear water, thin white paper, and ink. Write upon the paper every limiting belief about manifestation that clouds your vision. I must see the entire path. Success only comes through struggle. Abundance requires specific steps. Hold the paper before you, breathing deeply as you acknowledge these beliefs as illusions, mere thoughts that have solidified into seeming truth. Slowly lower the paper into the water, watching as the ink begins to disperse. As the words dissolve, feel the dissolving of these mental barriers within your consciousness. Let the water transform your rigid beliefs into fluid possibility, opening your awareness to receive the universe's guidance in whatever form it appears. Chapter 3: The Sacred Silence. In the remote highlands, William journeyed from temple to temple, monastery to monastery, seeking the ultimate truth of existence. He studied ancient texts, learned from revered teachers, and practiced countless spiritual techniques. Yet, enlightenment remained elusive, until one dawn when, exhausted from his endless seeking, he rested beside a mountain lake. As the first light touched the water's surface, William noticed how the perfectly still lake mirrored the sky above, creating an unbroken reflection that seemed to double the vastness of the heavens. In that moment of perfect silence, when his mind finally ceased its restless searching, the universe spoke to him with crystal clarity. The modern world drowns in an ocean of noise, the constant chatter of technology, the endless stream of information, the ceaseless internal dialogue of wants and worries. This perpetual cacophony has severed humanity's natural connection to universal wisdom. Like static interfering with a radio signal, this noise disrupts the subtle frequency through which the universe communicates its guidance. True silence transcends the mere absence of sound. It exists as an active, living force, a state of pure receptivity, where the boundaries between you and the infinite dissolve. In this sacred stillness, the universe's wisdom becomes audible to your inner ear, not as words, but as direct knowing. In the grand concert halls of Europe, Elizabeth gained fame for her musical brilliance. Yet her greatest composition emerged not from adding more notes, but from discovering the power of pause. During a winter retreat, she noticed how snowfall seemed to suspend time itself, creating moments of perfect stillness. This inspiration led her to compose a piece that revolutionized musical understanding, one where the spaces between notes carried more power than the notes themselves. The silence became the song. Just as Elizabeth discovered the transformative power of musical pause, your manifestation journey gains its greatest momentum in moments of sacred silence, when you cease asking, when you stop striving, when you release the need to control. These become the spaces where the universe's response, sent at the moment of your first asking, finally finds reception in your consciousness. The Sacred Silence Immersion. Begin each day by creating an inviolable sanctuary of stillness. Start with 5 minutes, gradually extending the duration. Find a space where external noise cannot reach you. Sit comfortably, allowing your breath to find its natural rhythm. Release all thoughts of your desires, all plans for manifestation, all need to control outcomes. Simply exist in perfect receptivity. Let each breath deepen your silence until you enter that vivid stillness where the universe's original response, sent at the moment of your first asking, can finally reach you unimpeded. Practice this daily, allowing the duration of silence to expand naturally as your capacity for stillness grows. Chapter 4: The Language of Intention. In the grand halls of the Royal Library, Benjamin sat at his writing desk, recording the day's events as he had done for years. Yet lately, something extraordinary has begun to occur. The mundane records he penned, from weather prediction to harvest forecasts, manifested with uncanny precision. A simple note about gentle rains needed for the eastern fields would summon perfect showers by morning. Perplexed by this power, Benjamin traced his origin to a new quill he'd received from an aging sage. The pen, he learned, had been carved from the branches of an ancient tree that grew at the crossroads of earthly and celestial realms, transforming mere writing into cosmic decree. The universe operates through a language far more subtle than human speech. When you voice your desires or write your intentions, the cosmos responds not to your words, but to the vibrational essence emanating from your being. This hidden language of pure intention flows beneath your conscious expression, carrying the true signature of your desires. This explains why two individuals can recite identical affirmations, yet experience dramatically different results. One person might declare, "I am abundant," and watch their wealth multiply, while another speaks the same words only to remain in lack. The universe reads not their words, but the encrypted message of their deeper beliefs, feelings, and expectations, the true intention beneath their verbal expression. In a distant land, Josephine faced a critical diplomatic mission among a tribe whose language had never been translated. With no common words between them, she faced what seemed an impossible task of preventing an imminent conflict. Yet as she sat in council with the tribal elders, something remarkable occurred. Her unwavering inner peace, her genuine desire for harmony, and her deep respect for their ways created a vibrational communication more powerful than any spoken word. The elders sensed the truth of her peaceful intentions, and without understanding a single word she spoke, they chose the path of peace. The intention purification ritual: find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Take a single desire you wish to manifest and write it down. Now, through silent contemplation, ask yourself these questions. What lies beneath this want? What deeper yearning drives this desire? What truth am I really seeking? Allow each answer to arise naturally, writing down each layer as it reveals itself. Continue this process until you reach a core intention that resonates with absolute clarity, one that feels pure, essential, and true. Sit with this purified intention in complete silence, allowing its perfect vibrational signature to emanate naturally. Make no effort to communicate it. Simply be one with this pure intention, knowing the universe receives its message with perfect clarity. Chapter 5: The Sacred Utterance. High in an ancient stone observatory, Frederick devoted his life to studying the cosmic dance of celestial bodies. Through decades of meticulous observation, he crafted intricate instruments to track the movement of stars and planets. One night, as he made the final adjustment to align his instruments precisely with a rare astronomical convergence, time itself seemed to pause. In that singular moment, the boundaries between past, present, and future dissolved, revealing the interconnected tapestry of existence. Frederick witnessed how every event, every manifestation, emerged not from countless repetitions, but from one perfect moment of alignment, a sacred instant when all forces converged in perfect harmony. This revelation mirrors the true nature of manifestation. The universe does not require persistent repetition or endless dedication to bring your desires into being. Instead, it responds to that one exquisite moment when all aspects of your being align in perfect resonance with your intention. This singular point of convergence, where your energy, beliefs, emotions, and clarity achieve perfect coherence, holds more manifesting power than years of repeated effort. In the temple gardens of an ancient civilization, Margaret served as a high priestess, performing intricate daily ceremonies to invoke divine blessings. For 30 years, she followed every sacred protocol with unwavering dedication, yet the profound connection she sought remained elusive. One morning, as she prepared for yet another ritual, she suddenly stopped. In that unexpected pause, she released all her learned ceremonies and simply surrendered completely to divine presence. That single moment of pure faith and total acceptance accomplished what 3 decades of elaborate rituals could not. She experienced direct communion with the universal force. The sacred utterance alignment. Begin by creating a space of absolute stillness. Close your eyes and initiate the breath of alignment. Inhalate for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. As you breathe, visualize golden light filling your being, harmonizing every cell with universal energy. Feel yourself becoming a perfect conductor of cosmic force. Continue until you sense an unmistakable shift, a moment when time seems to slow and your awareness expands. In this precise instant, when you feel complete energetic coherence, speak your desire once with absolute clarity and conviction. Then immediately release it completely, knowing that in this perfect moment of alignment, your request has already been received and set in motion by the universe. Rise and walk away, carrying the unshakable knowing that what you seek is already manifesting through that single, sacred point of convergence. Chapter 6, The Echo Chamber of Creation. Twin brothers Thomas and Henry journeyed to the ancient Valley of Echoes, where tradition held that the mountains would reveal one's destiny. At sunrise, they stood before the towering peaks, each carrying the same dream of becoming master healers. Thomas stepped forward first, calling out his heart's desire. The echo that returned twisted his words into haunting, discordant sounds that made him tremble. Henry then spoke the identical wish, yet the mountains returned his words as a harmonious melody that seemed to embrace him. Though their words were the same, the mountain revealed the stark difference in their inner worlds. The universe operates as an exquisite echo chamber, reflecting with perfect precision not the words you speak, but the energetic foundation from which they emerge. Like a flawless mirror, it cannot help but show you exactly what you project, not from your conscious thoughts alone, but from the deeper vibrations of your entire being. Your manifestations arise not from what you say you want, but from the sum total of your beliefs, expectations, and emotional resonance. When your conscious desires conflict with your underlying beliefs, the universe must honor the stronger vibration. It cannot reflect back abundance if scarcity forms the bedrock of your inner landscape. It cannot echo success if failure remains your expected outcome. This law operates with mathematical precision, immune to manipulation or bargaining. In a distant village lived Clara, whose mirrors earned both fame and fear for their unusual properties. Those who gazed into her creations saw not their physical reflection, but rather the true nature of their inner state. The wealthy merchant who prided himself on his fortune saw only emptiness, while the humble gardener witnessed abundant beauty. A bitter woman saw thorns growing from her heart, while a grateful child's reflection sparkled with starlight. Each person's life circumstances became instantly clear as they witnessed the direct connection between their inner state and outer reality. Through Clara's mirrors, many finally understood why their lives unfolded as they did, not through chance or cosmic judgment, but through the perfect reflection of their own inner landscape. The universe, like Clara's mirrors, simply shows you what you truly believe and expect, neither punishing or rewarding, but faithfully echoing your deepest truths. The echo purification process guides you to a space with natural acoustics, a canyon, an empty hall, or even a quiet room with high ceilings. Stand in silence until you feel centered. Speak aloud your desired manifestation and listen carefully to its echo. Notice the quality of the sound that returns to you, its clarity, its tone, its emotional resonance. This physical echo serves as a metaphor for what the universe currently reflects back to you. If the echo sounds distorted or unclear, look deeper into the beliefs that create this interference. Continue this practice until your words return to you with the same clarity and conviction with which you wish the universe to respond. Chapter 7. The Unwritten Contract. In the bustling markets of an ancient trade city, Oliver, a young merchant, encountered an elderly beggar who blessed him with unusual words. "May your fortunes multiply." Moved by sudden generosity, Oliver declared, "When I prosper, you shall receive 1/10 of my earnings." He soon forgot this casual promise, his life continuing its ordinary course. Years passed, and Oliver indeed prospered, yet mysterious setbacks began occurring. Profitable ventures inexplicably dissolved. Reliable customers suddenly changed their routes. Valuable shipments were mysteriously redirected. His wealth seemed to slip through his fingers until, by chance, he again encountered the same beggar. Upon fulfilling his forgotten promise, his fortunes immediately stabilized and flourished anew. The universe operates as a divine record-keeper, maintaining an impeccable ledger of every energetic agreement you initiate. Each desire you express, each promise you make, each intention you hold, creates an unwritten but binding spiritual contract. These cosmic agreements possess a power far beyond ordinary human commitments, for they are witnessed and recorded by the very fabric of creation itself. When you speak your desires to the universe, you unknowingly specify terms for their fulfillment. Your conscious words form only part of this agreement. Your beliefs, expectations, and energetic state compose the fine print that determines exactly how your manifestation will unfold. The universe, as the ultimate cosmic lawyer, fulfills these contracts with precise literalness, honoring the exact terms you energetically signed rather than what you later wish you had specified. In the halls of an ancient kingdom, Harriet, trusted advisor to the Queen, discovered weathered scrolls that revealed a startling truth. The mysterious blight affecting their lands, failed crops, dried wells, dwindling trade, stemmed from a contract made generations ago. A former king had promised the land itself would be kept sacred, a vow broken by his descendants. Though the people had forgotten, the earth remembered, and the universe had been steadily enforcing the terms of that ancient agreement through the kingdom's declining fortunes. Through the contract clarification ceremony, you will learn to consciously craft your spiritual agreements with the universe, find a quiet space, and light a candle. On fresh parchment, write your desire with ceremonial precision, specifying exact terms while remaining mindful of hidden implications. Read your contract aloud 3 times, each time with increasing certainty. Finally, press your thumb to the paper's bottom, sealing your agreement with your own unique energetic signature. This conscious participation in the cosmic contracting process ensures your manifestations unfold according to your true intentions rather than unconscious terms. Chapter 8. The Universal Ears. High in the mountain peaks where silence reigned supreme, George tended his flock through changing seasons. At first, the wind was merely wind, until the day he noticed how it carried messages in its subtle variations. A gentle breeze preceded the safe return of lost sheep. A swirling gust warned of approaching storms before clouds appeared. Over time, he recognized that these weren't mere coincidences, but direct communications from the universe itself. The wind, George discovered, spoke a language more ancient than words. It whispered truths about events yet to unfold, guided his steps away from hidden dangers, and led him to abundant grazing grounds. Through years of solitude, he learned that the universe wasn't simply responding to his needs. It had been speaking to him all along. This eternal truth remains unchanged. The universe possesses an all-encompassing consciousness that perceives every aspect of your being. It knows the prayers you speak in darkness, the wishes you dare not voice, and even the desires buried so deep you've forgotten they exist. This divine awareness requires no amplification or repetition to hear you. It knows your heart's longing before you yourself recognize it. Here lies a sacred truth long guarded by mystics. The most powerful manifestations occur in solitude, not because the universe demands secrecy, but because isolation creates a pure channel for cosmic communication. When others learn of your deepest desires, their doubts, fears, and conflicting energies can create static in your perfect reception. Their well-meaning questions and concerns may cause you to doubt what the universe has already clearly heard. In a distant kingdom lived Abigail, whose musical compositions moved listeners to tears, seemingly giving voice to their unspoken thoughts. When asked about her gift, she revealed that she didn't create the music at all. She simply listened to the melody already playing in each person's energy field. "The music exists before I write it," she would say. "I merely translate what's already there." Like Abigail's gift, the universe perceives the perfect symphony of your manifestation before you consciously form your request. It responds not just to your words or thoughts, but to the complete orchestration of your being, your past, present, future, and every possibility in between. Through the universal listening meditation, you will develop your own capacity to recognize the universe's constant communication. Find a space of complete solitude. Close your eyes and allow your breath to slow until your thoughts are still completely. Begin to notice the subtle signs around you, a sudden breeze, an unexpected sound, a spontaneous feeling. These are the ways the universe confirms it has heard you, speaking through a language more ancient than words. Chapter 9, The Thread of Faith. In the ancient city of silk merchants and royal weavers, Victoria received an extraordinary commission: create an imperial garment using thread that no eye could see. The court whispered that she had lost her mind when she began working at an empty loom, her hands moving with precise purpose through seemingly vacant space. Day after day, she wove with absolute conviction, her fingers dancing with invisible strands, while onlookers exchanged knowing glances. Yet Victoria remained unmoved by their doubt, continuing her work with unwavering certainty. When questioned, she simply smiled and continued weaving, her faith in her craft absolute. Months passed and the day of revelation arrived. As sunrise touched the finished garment, gasps of wonder filled the imperial chamber. There, catching the light like crystallized dew, shimmered a robe of such ethereal beauty that it seemed woven from starlight itself. What appeared as emptiness had transformed into a masterpiece that no visible thread could have created. This truth stands eternal. Faith is not merely hoping for what you cannot see. It is the practiced skill of maintaining perfect alignment with a reality you have already chosen. When you speak your desire to the universe, two paths immediately form. One paved with doubt that leads back to your current reality, and one illuminated by faith that bridges to your chosen manifestation. Doubt does not simply delay your manifestation, it actively creates a competing reality that nullifies your creative power. Each moment of uncertainty sends ripples through the cosmic fabric, distorting the perfect pattern of your original intention. This is why many find their manifestations seemingly within reach, only to have them dissolve at the crucial moment. Consider Albert, whose architectural vision defied conventional wisdom. Working from blueprints only he could see, he placed columns and arches in ways that seemed to defy logic. Critics claimed his buildings would collapse, yet he refused to alter his plans. When completed, his structures revealed perfect harmony with wind patterns and natural forces others had overlooked, creating buildings of unparalleled strength and beauty. Through the faith-anchoring ritual, you will create your own bridge between the unseen and the manifest. Select an object that resonates with absolute certainty, perhaps a smooth stone or crystal. Hold it in your hands as you declare, "In the invisible realm, my desire is already complete. I align myself with this truth, unwavering in my knowledge." Keep this anchor with you, touching it whenever doubt arises, allowing its energy to realign you with the reality you have chosen. Chapter 10. The Sacred Petition. In a distant kingdom where ancient wisdom still held sway, Rebecca, a humble villager, received an unexpected summons to the emperor's hidden palace. Such audiences were granted perhaps once in a generation, and those chosen had but one opportunity to make a single request of the mysterious ruler who held the power to transform lives with a mere word. For weeks before her audience, Rebecca prepared with the guidance of an aged temple priestess who had witnessed countless petitioners succeed or fail in their moments before the throne. The priestess revealed that the emperor's response depended not merely on the words spoken, but on an intricate alignment of the petitioner's entire being at the moment of asking. Through careful observation and preparation, Rebecca learned that those who rushed to voice their desires, however worthy, left empty-handed. Those who spoke from confusion or doubt received distorted versions of their wishes. But those rare few who achieved perfect inner harmony at the precise moment of asking received blessings beyond imagination. When her moment arrived, Rebecca entered the throne room in a state of complete clarity, her body, mind, and spirit unified in perfect resonance with her desire. The emperor, sensing her preparation, granted her request before she finished speaking, for her entire being had already communicated her petition with flawless precision. The universe operates with this same exacting principle. When you make your cosmic petition, every element of your being must align in perfect harmony. Your conscious desire must mirror your subconscious beliefs. Your emotional state must vibrate in perfect resonance with your request. Your energy must achieve the exact frequency of that which you seek to manifest. Consider Walter, whose mastery of gemstone creation revealed this universal truth. After years of failed attempts, he discovered that perfect crystals formed only when 7 distinct conditions aligned perfectly: temperature, pressure, mineral composition, time, space, energy, and intention. A single misaligned element would shatter weeks of careful preparation. So too must your sacred petition to the universe align 7 distinct elements. Your conscious intention must crystallize with absolute clarity. Your subconscious belief must support without shadow of doubt. Your emotional resonance must achieve perfect pitch. Your energetic vibration must match your desired outcome. Divine timing must reach its perfect moment. Spiritual surrender must be complete, and your physical being must be prepared to receive. Create a sacred space with a white candle and enter a state of deep receptivity through slow breathing. Clear your mind and visualize 7 pillars of light surrounding you: golden, intention; silver, belief; rose, emotion; violet, vibration; blue, timing; white, surrender; and emerald, reception. Feel each energy merge with yours. When the pillars hum in harmony, speak your petition 3 times with growing certainty, knowing it already exists in the ethereal realm. Maintain this aligned awareness, letting the energies saturate your being. Express gratitude for divine wisdom and timing. Close by visualizing the pillars merging into your heart center, where they'll continue resonating with your desire. Practice daily until you feel the energetic shift signaling perfect alignment. Part 2, the Sacred Covenant, Practicing Your Hidden Power. Chapter 11, The Hidden Chamber. Theodore, whose name echoed through grand halls as the most skilled treasure hunter of his age, spent 30 years searching opulent palaces for legendary riches. He scaled castle towers, descended into forgotten crypts, and decoded intricate puzzles guarding royal vaults. Yet the greatest treasure of his life lay not behind ornate locks or elaborate traps, but in a simple antechamber he had passed countless times. The modest room, with its unadorned walls and plain wooden door, had been overlooked by thousands seeking fortune. Only when Theodore finally paused in exhaustion did he notice the subtle play of light across the floor, revealing markings visible solely when viewed in perfect stillness. This ordinary space held wealth beyond imagination, protected not by force, but by its seeming insignificance. The universe operates through this same principle of sacred concealment. The most potent manifestation energies flow not through grand declarations or public displays, but through private chambers of silent communion. Like certain rare elements that lose their power when exposed to air, your purest creative force requires protection from the diluting effects of outside awareness. When others learn of your spiritual work, their thoughts, even well-intentioned ones, create ripples in the perfect stillness required for manifestation. Their doubts, though unspoken, generate energetic interference patterns that disrupt the precise frequency of your desire. Their expectations, however supportive, introduce competing intentions that distort your clear signal to the universe. Lillian, a healer whose touch brought miraculous recovery to thousands, understood this profound truth. While she performed healing ceremonies that drew crowds from distant lands, her most extraordinary cures came from rituals performed in solitude as dawn's first light touched the earth. For decades, even her closest apprentices knew nothing of these private practices. Only after her passing did they discover her journals, revealing that the true source of her healing power lay in the sacred work she kept hidden from all eyes. This practice of sacred concealment appears throughout history's greatest manifestation masters. They guarded their most powerful techniques, not from selfishness, but because they understood that secrecy itself was an essential component of the power. The very act of keeping sacred knowledge private creates an energetic container pure enough to hold the highest frequencies of manifestation. Now you shall learn the sacred hidden chamber practice, an ancient technique passed down through generations of spiritual masters. This practice creates an energetic sanctuary where your deepest manifestations can take root and flourish, protected from the interference of the outside world. Find a private space where you won't be disturbed, a bedroom corner, garden spot, or anywhere that feels sacred. The location matters less than your sacred intention. In this sanctuary, write your desires, speak affirmations, and perform rituals aligning with universal law. Like ancient temple chambers reserved for priests, this becomes your holy space. The practice's power comes from complete secrecy. Tell no one about your sacred hidden chamber or its rituals. If asked about your spiritual work, share only general concepts, keeping this powerful practice private between you and divine intelligence. Like a seed growing in darkness before reaching light, manifestations need secrecy to gain power. Though results will show, keep their source known only to you. Chapter 12, The Ethereal Messenger. In the days of old, Charles carried the king's most confidential decrees through territories where countless messengers had vanished without trace. While others relied solely on maps and marked paths, Charles developed an extraordinary awareness of nature's hidden language. He learned to read the formations of morning mist, understanding how it clung differently to safe paths than to dangerous ones. He noticed how certain birds would circle in distinct patterns when hostile forces lay ahead, and how the winds whisper through particular leaves carried warnings of approaching storms. The universe speaks to you with this same intricate precision. From the moment you make your sacred petition, an elaborate system of divine communication activates, a cosmic dialogue most fail to perceive, because they await grand gestures rather than recognizing the subtle language already flowing through their daily experience. 7 primary channels carry these divine messages. The first arrives through natural phenomena, the way sunlight falls across your path, the unexpected appearance of certain animals, or the peculiar arrangement of clouds at significant moments. The second flows through numbers and patterns that repeat with mysterious insistence. The third speaks through bodily sensations, sudden shifts in energy, unexpected tingles, or intuitive pulls toward or away from specific choices. The fourth channel manifests through chance encounters with strangers who deliver precisely the information you need. The fifth appears in dreams and twilight visions. The sixth emerges through inner promptings, those quiet but persistent urges to take specific actions. The seventh and most subtle arrives through the orchestration of perfect timing, when seemingly unrelated events align with impossible precision. These messages come not to confirm your petition was heard. The universe requires no such verification. Instead, they provide exact instructions for your role in the manifestation process, guiding you toward the most efficient path to your desire. Beatrice, the blind oracle of the mountain temple, understood this profound truth. Her inability to see the physical world became her greatest gift, allowing her to perceive the ethereal messengers that constantly move between dimensions. While others demanded visible signs of divine favor, Beatrice recognized the whispered guidance woven through every moment. Her lack of physical sight developed her ability to read the invisible language of the universe, a skill that made her the most trusted spiritual advisor in 7 kingdoms. Your attachment to seeing physical evidence of manifestation creates a similar blindness, not to the visible world, but to the subtle cosmic dialogue already guiding your journey. The universe speaks not through spectacular displays, but through a sophisticated language of synchronicity that requires a different kind of perception to understand. Through the sacred art of ethereal message decoding, an ancient mystic practice, you can interpret the universe's subtle communications. By cultivating your spiritual senses, you'll develop the awareness to recognize divine messages in daily life. This attunement enhances your receptivity to the cosmic dialogue flowing through you, helping navigate your manifestation journey with precision. Once attuned, you'll notice meaning in ordinary moments, chance encounters providing needed information, recurring numbers confirming your path, or delays protecting you from obstacles. These aren't coincidences, but the universe's guidance system waiting for those wise enough to perceive it. Let's explore these sacred steps from ancient masters who first decoded the universe's language. Through these principles, you'll unveil the hidden messages surrounding you, revealing the path to your desires. Chapter 13, The Alchemist's Release. In the quiet hills beyond the ancient city, Edmund the alchemist devoted his life to unlocking the secrets of transmutation. His laboratory, filled with mysterious vessels and arcane instruments, witnessed countless attempts to create the legendary Philosopher's Stone. For 30 years, he meticulously followed every formula, consulting forgotten texts and experimenting with rare elements until his hands bore the scars of his dedication. One bitter winter morning, after yet another failed attempt, Edmund's spirit finally broke. In his despair, he walked away from his life's work, leaving his final experiment unfinished in its crucible. For months he wandered the countryside, no longer pursuing the impossible dream that had consumed his existence. When spring arrived, something drew him back to his abandoned laboratory. There, covered in dust, stood the crucible from his last attempt, but within it gleamed pure, perfect gold. His unfinished work had completed itself in his absence, revealing the profound truth that his constant presence and attachment had been the very force preventing the transformation he sought. This eternal wisdom echoes through the ages. Your desire's manifestation often awaits only your energetic release. When you maintain an energy of wanting, you transmit to the universe a frequency of lack. And the universe, in its perfect reflection, must continue presenting experiences that match this frequency. Your wanting becomes a force that holds at bay the very thing you seek to attract. The key lies not in abandoning your desires, but in releasing the energetic grip that paradoxically keeps them at a distance. True detachment emerges from the deep understanding that your desire already exists in non-physical form, requiring only your energetic release to precipitate into physical reality. Grace, a gifted artist, encountered this truth when commissioned to paint the cathedral's centerpiece. Despite her renowned skill, she found herself unable to begin, paralyzed by the magnitude of the task. In her frustration, she received a dream vision instructing her to paint blindfolded. Though it seemed madness, she followed this guidance, and only then did divine inspiration flow through her hands, creating a masterpiece beyond her conscious ability. By releasing control, she allowed a higher power to work through her. The alchemical release ceremony now beckons you to experience this profound truth. In sacred solitude, stand with your arms outstretched, holding in your mind's eye a sphere of light containing your desire. Breathe deeply, allowing each exhale to carry away the weight of attachment. With a final, powerful breath, release the sphere upward, watching it dissolve into the infinite space of pure potential. Feel the lightness that remains, knowing your desire now rests in universal keeping, free to manifest through perfect divine timing. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14, The Temple of Now. In the distant lands of the East, Jeremiah's quest consumed him. A wealthy merchant turned spiritual seeker, he sacrificed everything pursuing whispered legends of a mystical temple where prayers manifested instantly. His wealth dwindled as he crossed deserts, scaled mountains, and sailed treacherous seas. His body weakened, yet his obsession grew stronger with each passing year. One sweltering afternoon, his strength finally failed him. He collapsed beneath an ordinary tree by an unremarkable road, his last coin spent, his body ravaged by years of searching. As consciousness slipped away, a profound vision opened before him. The veil of illusion parted, revealing that the sacred temple he sought existed wherever he stood in perfect presence. The power he chased across continents had always been within his reach, accessible through the gateway of the eternal present moment. This timeless truth reveals why manifestation can only occur in the now. Your creative power exists solely at the intersection of eternity and present awareness. When your consciousness constantly shifts between past regrets and future anxieties, you create a temporal displacement that prevents you from accessing this power. Even perfectly formulated desires fail to manifest when you never fully inhabit the only moment where the universe can deliver your creation. The royal timekeeper Sophia discovered this secret in the most unexpected place. Deep within the castle's ancient clock tower, she found a hidden chamber where time itself stood still. In this mysterious space, the endless ticking of the great clock faded to silence. Here, suspended between moments, she learned that she could access any reality she clearly envisioned as already complete. Within this timeless sanctuary, Sophia realized that the mechanical measurement of hours and minutes was merely an illusion. In the pure present moment, she found a sacred portal where the limitations of sequential time dissolved. Her consciousness could align instantly with any desire she held as already manifested. The Eternal Moment meditation now opens this same portal for you. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, allowing each inhalation to draw your awareness fully into the present moment. As thoughts of the past or future arise, simply observe them floating away like leaves on a stream. Feel yourself settling deeper into the eternal now. As your awareness expands in the present moment, visualize your desire as already manifested, not as a future possibility, but as a current reality. Experience it with all your senses in this timeless space where all potential exists simultaneously. This is the only moment the universe recognizes as real, the sacred point of power where manifestation occurs. Chapter 15, The Guardian of the Threshold. In the ancient hills beyond the eastern valleys, Josephine stood before the first gate of the Temple of Eternal Wisdom. Tales spoke of its secrets, but none mentioned the terrifying guardians that materialized at each threshold. At the first gate, a massive serpent of shadow and flame arose, its eyes reflecting her deepest fears. Her instinct urged retreat, yet something deeper whispered, "Face what appears." As she stepped forward with an unwavering presence, the serpent dissolved like morning mist. At the second gate, a mirror being emerged, showing all her past failures and future doubts. Again, rather than resist or flee, She moved through it, and it too vanished. Gate after gate, each guardian more fearsome than the last, until she realized these were not external obstacles, but projections of her own consciousness. The universe operates through this same principle in your manifestation journey. When you make your sacred petition, you activate a sequence of apparent obstacles. These guardians arise not to block your path, but to prepare you energetically for receiving your desire. Each challenge precisely mirrors a limiting belief or fear requiring transformation before your manifestation can fully materialize. Consider Harold, whose life's work was building a bridge across the chasm of whispers. For months, mysterious accidents plagued construction. Tools vanished, ropes frayed, supports shifted. He suspected saboteurs until discovering the truth. His most dedicated apprentice unconsciously undermined the project, terrified that the bridge's completion would render his skills obsolete. The sabotage reflected not malice, but fear of success itself. This pattern manifests in your own journey. Your conscious desire for manifestation often wages war with unconscious fears of receiving it. The guardians you encounter, whether difficult circumstances, unexpected setbacks, or challenging people, reveal precisely which aspects of your consciousness require integration before your desire can manifest. For the guardian integration ritual, create a sacred space in complete solitude. Light a single candle and sit in meditation, allowing images of your current guardians to arise naturally. Rather than battling these appearances, engage each one in silent dialogue. Ask, what wisdom do you carry for me? What transformation do you invite? Record their messages in your manifestation journal, understanding that each guardian offers a key to accelerating your journey rather than impeding it. Through this practice, you transform apparent obstacles into energetic allies, recognizing that what appears to block your path actually illuminates the way forward. Chapter 16. The Silent Decree. In the days of old, when wisdom flowed more freely between realms, Augustus served as judge in a prosperous kingdom. Though he sat upon the judgment seat each day, those who watched closely noticed a peculiar pattern. The effects of his decisions rippled through the kingdom before he ever spoke them aloud. Merchants would suddenly change their trading routes, farmers would shift their planting patterns, and disputes would mysteriously resolve themselves, all aligned with judgments Augustus had formed in his mind but not yet declared. At first, he attributed these occurrences to coincidence until a sage revealed to him the truth. His unwavering internal knowledge created an energetic decree more powerful than any spoken word. When his entire being aligned with absolute certainty around a truth, the universe responded to this silent command with the same authority as natural law. This reveals an ancient secret. The most powerful manifestations occur through silent decreeing, where your thoughts, feelings, and knowing achieve such perfect harmony that reality itself must bend to match your internal state. Throughout history, certain souls have manifested with extraordinary speed and precision, not through elaborate rituals or constant affirmations, but through their mastery of complete internal congruence. In a humble shop in the merchant's quarter, Violet worked her simple trade as a seamstress, yet those who wore her garments experienced inexplicable turns of good fortune. Business ventures flourished, love blossomed, hell restored itself. On her deathbed, she revealed to her daughter the truth. While sewing in perfect silence, she maintained specific thought patterns, blessing each stitch with unwavering certainty of the wearer's highest good. Her silent decrees, maintained with perfect consistency through every motion of her hands, carried more power than any spoken blessing. The silent decree method begins in absolute solitude. Create a space of perfect stillness where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and systematically align each level of your being, thought, emotion, belief, and knowing, with your chosen manifestation. Feel how your entire energy field vibrates in harmony with this reality. Maintain this state of perfect internal congruence for increasing periods, understanding that this unified field of consciousness constitutes a command to universal forces more powerful than any spoken word. This practice reveals why masters throughout time have said, "True power lies not in what you declare to the world, but in the unshakable knowing you maintain in silence." Chapter 17, The Invisible Gardener. In the fertile valleys of an ancient land, there lived a master gardener named Elijah, whose gardens flourished with otherworldly beauty and soil others had dismissed as worthless. Travelers journeyed from distant lands to witness his magnificent blooms, marveling at how such splendor could emerge from earth that appeared lifeless and gray. For months before planting any seed, Elijah would work in seeming solitude, tending to empty soil with mysterious care. His methods puzzled onlookers who saw no visible change in the barren ground. His most dedicated apprentice, watching this patient preparation, finally gathered the courage to question his master's ways. "The secret," Elijah explained, "lies not in what we can see, but in nurturing the invisible kingdom beneath our feet. Each handful of soil contains countless microscopic beings, whose harmony creates the perfect conditions for growth. Before any seed can flourish, we must first create a world that welcomes it." Through patient observation, you will discover that manifestation follows this same sacred principle. The universe responds not to your desires alone, but to the carefully prepared environment of your consciousness. Just as a seed requires specific soil conditions to transform into a flourishing plant, your desires require precise internal conditions to materialize into physical reality. Many seekers cast their dreams into unprepared internal soil, wondering why their manifestations wither before taking root. They focus their energy on perfecting their desires, crafting elaborate visualizations and affirmations, while neglecting the essential work of preparing their consciousness to receive these visions into reality. In a distant city lived Isabel, whose healing abilities defied medical understanding. Patients deemed incurable would emerge from her care completely restored to health. When pressed to explain her methods, she revealed that she never treated the illness directly. Instead, she worked invisibly, adjusting the patient's internal energetic environment until it became inhospitable to disease. Like a master gardener preparing soil, she understood that transformation occurs naturally when the proper conditions are established. This truth mirrors your manifestation journey. The state of your consciousness, your beliefs, emotional patterns, and energetic alignments determines which desires can take root in your reality. Just as certain plants can only thrive in specific soil conditions, your manifestations can only materialize in a consciousness prepared to receive them. Practice the invisible garden preparation. Begin by sitting in sacred silence, examining the soil of your consciousness. Through careful meditation, identify the limiting beliefs that create acidity in your internal environment. Notice the emotional wounds that deplete your soil's nutrients. Recognize the energetic blockages that prevent proper spiritual flow. Then, Systematically transform these conditions through specific visualization techniques, emotional release practices, and energy clearing rituals, creating fertile ground where your desires can naturally take root and flourish. Chapter 18. The Sacred Vessel. In an ancient kingdom where the arts of creation were revered as divine gifts, there lived a master potter named Abraham whose vessels were unlike any others in the world. Kings and queens sought his creations not for their outward beauty, though they possessed that too, but for their mysterious ability to preserve whatever they contained in perfect condition. Water drawn from sacred springs remained pure and vital for years within his vessels, never growing stagnant. Precious oils maintained their potency for decades, their healing properties undiminished by time. Many attempted to replicate his work, studying his techniques and copying his designs, yet none could achieve the same results. The secret, they discovered, lay not in the clay or the kiln, but in Abraham's consciousness as he worked. Before touching each piece of clay, he would enter a deep meditative state, infusing the raw material with specific intentions through the sacred resonance of his own being. This ancient wisdom illuminates a fundamental truth about manifestation. Your consciousness must become a perfect vessel for the abundance you seek to receive. Like Abraham's pottery, your energetic container must be prepared to not only attract but maintain the blessings you desire. When manifestations slip away or abundance seems to leak from your life, the cause often lies not in your ability to attract good, but in your capacity to hold it. Cracks of unworthiness in your energetic vessel allow prosperity to seep away. Patterns of self-sabotage create invisible fissures through which relationships or opportunities escape. Sometimes your consciousness simply remains too small to contain the magnitude of good attempting to flow into your life. In a distant valley lived Lucille, who inherited a simple silver chalice from her grandmother. For years it sat forgotten on a shelf until she noticed that water left in the cup overnight transformed into healing elixirs. Seeking to understand this phenomenon, she discovered microscopic engravings inside the chalice, sacred geometries encoding the exact frequency of divine abundance. Yet this power activated only when she recognized and believed in its presence. This chalice mirrors your own divine consciousness, a sacred vessel already containing the blueprint for infinite abundance. You need not seek this capacity outside yourself, for it dwells within, awaiting only your recognition and activation. Practice the sacred vessel expansion. Begin by sitting in sacred silence, holding your cupped hands before you as a physical representation of your consciousness. Through guided visualization, examine your energetic vessel for cracks of unworthiness, leaks of self-doubt, or limitations in size. As you identify each restriction, consciously heal and expand your capacity through specific breathing patterns and energy work. Finally, consecrate your consciousness as a holy vessel, calibrating its frequency to perfectly match and maintain the exact nature of your desired manifestation. Chapter 19. The Keeper of Secrets. In the halls of an ancient temple, where sacred knowledge passed silently through generations, lived Bartholomew, a guardian chosen to protect scrolls of immeasurable power. Each day, seekers arrived at the temple gates offering riches, wisdom, and divine gifts in exchange for access to these ancient teachings. Yet Bartholomew's greatest challenge came not from those who sought to steal the scrolls, but from sincere spiritual aspirants whose pure hearts and noble intentions tested his resolve. A traveling sage offered to share secrets from distant temples in exchange for a glimpse of the scrolls. A dying king promised his entire treasury to heal his beloved queen. Even a revered mystic, known for transforming entire kingdoms through spiritual wisdom, requested access to enhance his ability to serve humanity. Through each test, Bartholomew discovered that his true duty lay not in protecting the scrolls from theft, but in preserving their power from dilution. For when sacred wisdom spreads before its appointed time, its potency diminishes, like a mighty river dispersing into countless streams until its force can no longer carve new paths through stone. This ancient truth illuminates why your manifestation work requires absolute privacy. When you share your spiritual practice prematurely, you expose your creating power to the collective consciousness, a vast sea of limiting beliefs, unconscious fears, and misaligned energies that can subtly reshape your manifestation. Even those who love you most carry their own energetic patterns that may unconsciously interfere with your creative work. Their excitement for your journey, their well-meaning advice, their concerns for your well-being. All these energies interact with your manifestation field, often dispersing the concentrated power needed for completion. In a quiet corner of the literary world, Mildred discovered this principle through her craft. A gifted writer, she noticed a peculiar pattern. Every story she discussed before completion remained forever unfinished. The more she shared about her unfolding narratives, the more they lost their vital essence, as if the very act of describing her incomplete creations released the creative tension necessary for their birth. Only after learning to maintain absolute silence about her work until the final word was written did her stories flow unimpeded from conception to completion. Her manuscripts, protected from the subtle influences of others' expectations and opinions, emerged with a power and clarity that transformed readers' lives. The universe operates with perfect precision in manifesting your desires, but requires your cooperation in maintaining energetic integrity. Like a master alchemist performing a delicate transformation, your role is to maintain the perfect conditions until your creation fully materializes in physical form. Create a sacred sanctuary around your manifestation by keeping silent about your intentions for 7 days. Shield one significant desire in privacy, letting its vibrations strengthen undiluted. Each morning, place your hand over your heart to acknowledge the power within. When others ask about your plans, smile and redirect. Feel your protected intention growing stronger in its shelter. Watch your manifestation gain momentum in silence like a germinating seed. Your creation needs this space to reach its potential. When ready, it will emerge transformed by your sacred silence. Chapter 20. The Worthy Vessel. In a time beyond memory, there lived a master craftsman named Clarence, whose lifelong devotion to the art of mirror-making culminated in his final and most extraordinary creation. Unlike the countless mirrors he had crafted before, this one possessed a mysterious quality that transcended mere physical reflection. Those who gazed into its depths saw not their outer appearance, but the precise state of their spiritual readiness, revealing with perfect clarity what inner work remained before their deepest desires could manifest. The mirror showed each seeker exactly what they needed to see. To the merchant obsessed with wealth, it revealed his inability to receive abundance until he healed his childhood wounds around scarcity. To the scholar seeking wisdom, it displayed the pride that prevented true understanding from flowing into his consciousness. Each reflection served not as judgment, but as a divine message of preparation. When you ask why certain desires remain unmanifested in your life, the answer lies not in external circumstances, but in the perfect mirror of universal law. Like Clarence's mystical creation, the universe reflects back to you with absolute precision the exact state of your consciousness. What appears as delay or denial is actually divine protection, preventing you from receiving that which your current energetic state cannot yet sustain. This sacred principle explains why two people can perform identical manifestation practices yet experience vastly different results. The universe responds not to your techniques or even your conscious intentions, but to the true frequency of your being. It withholds certain manifestations not as punishment, but as protection, knowing that receiving desires before achieving proper alignment would create suffering rather than fulfillment. In a distant village, a humble woman named Ruth received a visit from a celestial being who granted her one wish. Rather than asking for wealth, power, or earthly pleasures, Ruth requested the ability to see herself through divine eyes. The being presented her with a sacred mirror, but when Ruth first gazed into it, she saw only darkness. Yet as she continued her daily practice of self-reflection, gradually releasing the false identities and limiting beliefs that obscured her true nature, the mirror began revealing her inherent divine radiance. Ruth's journey illuminates a profound truth. Becoming worthy of your desires requires not the acquisition of new qualities, but the removal of false beliefs that hide your natural state of divine perfection. Like a sculptor removing excess stone to reveal the masterpiece within, your task is not to become something new, but to uncover what has always existed beneath the layers of illusion. Find a quiet space at dawn or dusk to commune with yourself before a mirror. Let your eyes soften, looking past surface details to the luminous presence within. Breathe slowly, releasing worldly judgments and borrowed beliefs with each exhale. Watch your reflection transform as you let go of your familiar personality mask. Behind physical features lies your ever-present divine radiance, waiting to be rediscovered. Part 3: The Divine Fulfillment, Mastery, and Transformation. Chapter 21: The Perfect Resonance. In an age when wisdom was still whispered in temple corridors, there lived a master musician named Percival, who devoted his life to seeking a legendary tone, one said to possess the power to move mountains. He journeyed across continents, mastering every instrument he encountered, from crystal bowls to sacred drums, believing each might hold the secret he sought. For decades, Percival composed intricate melodies and practiced complex harmonies, yet the mountains remained unmoved. Until one night, in a hidden temple carved into living rock, he discovered ancient inscriptions revealing a truth that transformed his understanding. The power lay not in the sound itself, but in achieving perfect resonance between the musician's inner state and the note being played. This revelation illuminates the deepest truth of manifestation mastery, that your power lies not in perfecting techniques, but in achieving complete vibrational alignment with your desire. Those who manifest with seeming ease have discovered this secret. They do not ask for what they wish to create. They become its living embodiment. Like a tuning fork that vibrates in perfect sympathy with its matching frequency, your consciousness must achieve precise resonance with the energy signature of what you seek. This explains why two people can perform identical manifestation practices yet experience vastly different results. One has achieved vibrational alignment, while the other maintains an energetic gap between their current state and their desire. In a distant valley, there lived a singer named Florence whose voice possessed extraordinary healing power. Those who heard her sing would find their ailments mysteriously cured. Yet Florence knew her gift had nothing to do with vocal technique or volume. Through deep communion with universal forces, she had discovered that every state of being, health, abundance, love, peace, exists as a specific energetic signature. Her healing arose not from the beauty of her voice, but from her ability to match the exact frequency of perfect wholeness, allowing others to naturally attune to this resonance through her song. Florence's gift reveals the ultimate secret of manifestation. When you achieve perfect resonance with your desire, its physical expression becomes as natural and inevitable as water flowing downhill. You need not push or strive, for universal law ensures that like frequencies must unite. Find a quiet, undisturbed space and sit with a straight spine as ancient seekers did. Close your eyes and envision your desire as an existing reality within the universe. Breathe deeply, drawing in creative energy and releasing doubt. Let your consciousness become a precise instrument, attuned to universal vibrations. Sense your desire's unique energy signature, whether abundance is warmth, health's steady pulse, or harmony's soft glow. Merge with this frequency, allowing your being to resonate in sympathy. Like Florence's song, don't force the process, simply maintain alignment, knowing each moment draws your desire closer through universal law. Chapter 22, The Invisible Thread. In a time when wisdom flowed through needle and thread, there lived a seamstress named Adelaide, whose garments held powers beyond mortal understanding. Those who wore her creations experienced mysterious connections across vast distances. Soldiers at war would feel their beloved's touch, children far from home would sense their mother's embrace, and feuding siblings would dream of reconciliation on the same night. The source of Adelaide's power lay not in her expert stitching or choice of fabric, but in her understanding of the invisible threads that connect all things in the universe. As she worked, she wove not just with silk and cotton, but with the ethereal strands of intention that bind reality itself. Each stitch carried both physical thread and spiritual connection, creating garments that served as bridges between separated souls. This ancient wisdom reveals the profound truth of manifestation through entanglement. The universe contains invisible but tangible pathways connecting your present reality to your desired future. These threads of possibility exist in the fabric of creation itself, waiting for you to recognize and strengthen them. By identifying even the smallest resonance between your current circumstances and your desired manifestation, you create an energetic bridge that can be systematically fortified. Consider the tale of Wesley, whose masterwork spanned an uncrossable ravine that had claimed countless lives. Where others had failed by attempting to build massive supports from the start, Wesley began with a single silken thread carried across the chasm by a morning breeze. This delicate connection allowed him to pull a stronger cord across, then a rope, then a cable, each step building upon the previous, until massive construction cables could support the weight of the finished bridge. Wesley's approach illuminates the secret of manifesting seemingly impossible desires. You need not immediately construct the full bridge between your present and your envisioned future. Instead, seek the finest thread of connection, a small synchronicity, a chance encounter, a subtle sign that links your current reality to your desired manifestation. Once established, this tenuous connection can be systematically strengthened through conscious attention and aligned action. When you find that first connection, hold it like a weaver examining silk. Feel its vibration. This is your bridge between now and what will be. Strengthen it through daily awareness and engagement. Watch similar energies appear, like echoes answering your soul. Each synchronicity and grateful thought weaves into your manifestation bridge. Stay patient like Wesley. The universe responds to steady attention, not desperation. Each day offers new threads to reinforce these cosmic links, whether through people living your desired reality, meaningful conversations, or sudden insights. These are the universe's offerings, ready to strengthen your bridge. This requires gentle but focused attention. Too much force breaks connections, too little lets them fade. Find that balance of relaxed expectancy, knowing each step builds toward manifestation. Trust the process. You're working with creation itself. Chapter 23, The Quantum Leap. High in the mist-shrouded peaks of an ancient mountain range, Franklin dedicated his life to uncovering the truth behind legends of mysterious portals. For 20 years, he meticulously mapped every crevice and cave, convinced that physical exploration would reveal these fabled doorways to distant lands. His journals were filled with detailed observations of terrain that seemed to defy natural law, places where shadows fell in impossible directions, and where time itself appeared to flow differently. Then, on a moonless night, exhausted from another failed expedition, Franklin rested against a seemingly ordinary rock face. In that moment of complete surrender, the solid stone beneath his hand dissolved, revealing a shimmering doorway. Through this portal, he glimpsed destinations that had taken him months to reach by conventional routes, all accessible in a single step. His decades of searching had led him not to a physical discovery, but to a profound truth. What appeared as vast distance in our limited perception was merely an illusion when viewed from a higher dimensional perspective. This revelation mirrors the deepest truth about manifestation, that the universe operates beyond the constraints of linear time and three-dimensional space. Those who master universal law understand that transformation need not follow a sequential path. Just as Franklin's portals allowed instant travel between distant points, your consciousness can make quantum leaps that bypass the apparent steps between desire and manifestation. This explains why certain desires materialize overnight after years of seeming inaction. What appears as a sudden manifestation is actually a dimensional shift, your consciousness aligning with a reality where your desire already exists as a completed fact. Consider Lucinda, whose healing abilities confounded the medical establishment. Patients with conditions deemed incurable would enter her present suffering, only to emerge moments later in perfect health. When finally asked to explain her method, Lucinda revealed that she never attempted to heal illness through linear progression. Instead, she had developed the ability to help others access parallel realities where their affliction had never existed. I simply guide them to recognize which thread of consciousness leads to the reality where they are already whole, she explained. The healing appears instantaneous because we're not creating health. We're accessing a dimension where health never ceased to exist. Through this lens, manifestation becomes not a process of creating what is absent, but of shifting your awareness to align with the reality where your desire already exists in completed form. The universe, operating beyond linear time, responds not to sequential effort, but to quantum shifts in consciousness that allow you to step directly into the fulfillment of your highest aspirations. Let your consciousness expand beyond linear time and space into the infinite web of possibility, where every potential version of your life exists simultaneously. In this space of pure potential, sense that your desired reality isn't a future to create, but a present dimension to access. Like tuning a radio to the perfect frequency, align your awareness with the reality where your aspirations already exist. This represents a fundamental shift in your quantum state. Imagine your consciousness as a lighthouse beam sweeping across infinite realities. Feel the vibrations as your awareness touches the dimension where your desires have manifested. Let your being resonate with that frequency, knowing each moment of alignment draws that reality closer. Chapter 24. The Sacred Observatory. In the highest reaches of the Andean Mountains, where the air grows thin and the stars seem close enough to touch, Montgomery built an observatory unlike any other. While other astronomers invested fortunes in increasingly powerful telescopes, he spent years in silent meditation, developing a technique that transcended the limitations of physical instruments. Through this practice, he discovered a state of consciousness where his awareness could merge with the celestial bodies themselves. In this expanded state, he gained direct knowledge of stellar phenomena that conventional astronomy wouldn't confirm for decades. His reports detailed precise information about distant galaxies, the composition of nebulae, and the dance of invisible cosmic forces, all without peering through a single lens. This profound truth reveals the essence of masterful manifestation. Just as Montgomery transcended the need for physical telescopes by raising his consciousness to the level of direct knowing, you too can elevate your awareness above the apparent limitations of your current reality. From this higher vantage point, both your present circumstances and your desired manifestation become visible simultaneously, revealing the perfect path between them that remains hidden from lower perspectives. And attempting to manifest while trapped within your current level of consciousness is like trying to navigate a vast city from within a narrow alley. No amount of effort or struggle will reveal the broader picture until you ascend to a higher viewpoint. The universe operates not through the limited perception of individual circumstances, but through the expanded awareness that sees all possibilities at once. Consider Madeline, whose extraordinary ability to guide ships through treacherous waters puzzled experienced captains. While others relied on charts and instruments, she would enter a meditative state, where her consciousness soared above the waves like a seabird. From this elevated perspective, she perceived hidden channels and safe passages invisible from the deck, pathways that appeared only when viewed from above. The perfect route always exists, she would say, but it can only be seen from a higher vantage point. What appears as an impassable barrier at sea level reveals itself as a clear channel when viewed from above. Through sacred observatory ascension, transcend earthly limits to access the divine view, revealing all paths. In a quiet space, let your consciousness rise like mist above physical constraints until reaching the sanctuary of infinite possibility. From this elevated awareness, see how your circumstances and desires interconnect as one whole. Former obstacles become opportunities when viewed from higher consciousness. The universe has carved paths between your present and future. Simply attune to this expanded vision. Breathe slowly, maintaining this perspective as divine wisdom illuminates your path. Like Madeline seeing safe passage through rough waters, you'll discern your route when viewing life from this sacred height. The ancients knew this truth. Elevated consciousness precedes manifesting our desires. Chapter 25, The Divine Timing. In the heart of an ancient city, Archibald labored in his dimly lit workshop, surrounded by the rhythmic ticking of countless timepieces. The emperor had commissioned him to create a clock of unparalleled precision for the imperial observatory, a task that consumed decades of his life in increasingly desperate attempts to achieve perfect accuracy. Despite his mastery of mechanical precision, each creation fell short, running either slightly fast or slow when measured against the most rigorous standards. His frustration mounted until one night, exhausted from another failed attempt, he fell into a deep sleep at his workbench. In his dream, he found himself standing in a vast cosmic chamber where the movements of planets, stars, and galaxies created an intricate celestial dance. A voice spoke, "You measure against human time, but true precision flows only from universal rhythms." Upon awakening, Archibald understood his fundamental error. He had tried to force cosmic movements into human measurements, rather than allowing universal patterns to guide his creation. Working with renewed insight, he crafted a timepiece that synchronized with the subtle rhythms underlying all existence. The resulting clock became legendary not merely for its accuracy, but for its mysterious ability to predict when significant events would unfold. It revealed that everything in creation operates according to perfect divine timing, a principle that governs all manifestation. This truth illuminates why forcing your desires to materialize according to personal timelines creates resistance that actually impedes their arrival. The universe operates through sacred cycles and convergence points that determine the optimal moment for each manifestation. Some desires materialize with surprising speed when aligned with these cosmic rhythms, while others unfold through a longer sequence that, though not matching your preferred timeline, serves your highest evolution. Winifred, a midwife whose reputation spread throughout distant lands, embodied this wisdom in her work. While others attempted to control the birthing process according to medical schedules and convenient hours, she developed an extraordinary ability to sense the unique divine timing encoded in each birth. "Every soul," she would say, "chooses its perfect moment of arrival. Our task is not to impose our timing, but to align with the wisdom already written in the cosmic script." Her unprecedented success came not from controlling the process, but from surrendering to and working in harmony with the natural rhythm unique to each birth. She never attempted to hasten or delay, understanding that every manifestation, whether a new life or a cherished desire, emerges according to an intelligence far greater than human planning. Chapter 26, The Abundance Code. Within the hallowed halls of an ancient library, Winston traced his fingers across the enigmatic manuscript before him. For years, this mysterious text had consumed his scholarly pursuits, its intricate symbols defying every known system of translation. The parchment discovered in a forgotten monastery vault was said to reveal the location of infinite treasure, yet its meaning remained elusive despite his mastery of 17 ancient languages. Night after night, Winston applied increasingly complex linguistic analyses until exhaustion finally claimed him at his desk. In his dreams, the symbols began to dance, transforming into pure vibrations of light. A voice whispered, "You seek meaning through the mind, but this text speaks to the eyes of the soul." Upon awakening, Winston understood his fundamental error. The manuscript wasn't meant to be translated. It was designed to be perceived. Each symbol carried a specific vibrational pattern that, when properly recognized, revealed abundance hidden within ordinary reality. Through this profound revelation, you discover that creation itself operates as an intricate abundance code. This divine encryption exists within every object, experience, and circumstance of your life. What appears as ordinary to untrained perception actually contains extraordinary prosperity waiting to be recognized. This explains why certain individuals throughout history seem to manifest wealth effortlessly. They weren't creating abundance through force or action. They had simply awakened their ability to perceive and activate the prosperity code already present within existing reality. Consider Ophelia, who inherited a barren plot of land that neighbors had long dismissed as worthless. While others saw only dry soil and scraggly vegetation, Ophelia discovered an ancient meditation technique that revealed something remarkable. The land contained specific vibrational patterns indicating vast mineral deposits beneath the surface, wealth that geological surveys couldn't detect, but that her awakened senses perceived with perfect clarity. This truth illuminates why two individuals can encounter identical circumstances, yet experience entirely different levels of prosperity. The abundance isn't absent from your life. It exists in a frequency your ordinary perception hasn't yet been trained to recognize. Through the abundance code activation, you learn to retrain your perception using precise eye movements that attune your vision to prosperity patterns hidden in plain sight. This practice combines consciousness-expanding exercises with sensory recalibration techniques, systematically decoding the abundance already surrounding you. As you perform this daily ritual, opportunities, resources, and wealth previously invisible to your awareness suddenly become clear, transforming your experience of reality without changing external circumstances. Chapter 27. The Eternal Exchange. Through windswept seas and crashing waves, Sebastian watched his merchant fleet sink beneath the waters, taking with it a fortune amassed over decades. Washed ashore on a distant isle, he discovered an ancient stone temple where mysterious inscriptions revealed a truth that would transform his understanding of wealth forever. Within those weathered walls, Sebastian learned that true abundance flows not from accumulation, but from mastering the precise rhythm of giving exactly what one seeks to receive. Each morning, he would take his last remaining coins and cast them into the sea, not as sacrifice, but as recognition of the cosmic circle of prosperity. As he embraced this practice, unexpected treasures began washing ashore: rare shells, precious driftwood, and eventually merchant vessels seeking safe harbor. This eternal wisdom reveals the universal law of reciprocity, that giving and receiving are not separate actions, but a single unified movement within the infinite flow of cosmic abundance. When you truly understand this principle, you recognize that every act of receiving must be balanced by an equal flow of giving, just as every inhalation requires an exhalation to complete the breath of life. Those who attempt to receive without first initiating the giving of the same energy create an energetic imbalance the universe must correct. This explains why certain manifestations seem blocked. The cosmic scales require perfect equilibrium between what you seek to attract and what you circulate outward. In a distant kingdom, Queen Emmeline faced this truth during a devastating drought that threatened her entire realm. The ancient scrolls in her possession contained what appeared to be madness: instructions to pour the palace's remaining water reserves into the parched earth as an offering. Against her advisor's desperate protests, she followed this mysterious guidance, watching as their precious water disappeared into dusty soil. Within days, clouds gathered above exactly where the water had been poured, releasing abundant rain that restored life to the land. Through this experience, Emmeline understood that what we most desire must first be given, not as spiritual bribery, but as recognition of the perfect circulation that maintains universal balance. The circulation of prosperity guides you to identify the precise essence of what you seek to manifest, then create systematic practices of giving this same energy in unexpected ways. If you desire love, become a channel through which love flows to others. If you seek abundance, find creative ways to share resources, even when they seem limited. Through this practice, you establish powerful currents of circulation that make receiving inevitable, not through magical thinking, but through perfect alignment with the cosmic law that governs all prosperity. Chapter 28, The Living Testament. High in the mountains where wisdom seekers gathered to learn from the renowned prophet Nathaniel, an extraordinary scene unfolded. His followers meticulously recorded every word he spoke, creating volumes of sacred teachings. Yet despite their dedication, bitter disputes arose about the true meaning of his message. One day, as his disciples argued over the correct interpretation of a particularly cryptic teaching, an old woman, who had silently observed Nathaniel for years, suddenly laughed. "You search his words for truth," she said, "but miss the living scripture before you. Watch how he moves through the world. There lies his real teaching." This revelation unveils the supreme principle of manifestation mastery. Your greatest power emerges not from perfecting techniques or mastering sacred formulas, but from becoming the living embodiment of what you seek to create. When your very presence radiates the reality you wish to manifest, the universe responds not to what you do, but to who you have become. Those who attempt to manifest abundance while harboring thoughts of scarcity create an insurmountable energetic contradiction. No amount of positive thinking can override the fundamental frequency of your being. Yet when you transform yourself into a living testament of prosperity consciousness, the universe naturally reflects back experiences that match your embodied truth. In a secluded valley, Gwendolyn established a school unlike any other. Her advanced students received no formal instruction, no ancient text to study, no techniques to practice. Instead, they simply lived in her presence, absorbing through direct transmission the enlightened states that decades of conventional practice failed to produce. Through their experience, these students discovered that transformation occurs most powerfully through embodiment rather than information. Their proximity to one who had fully embodied enlightenment accomplished more than years of spiritual practice ever could. This truth illuminates your path forward. Your ultimate manifestation practice becomes living, as if your desire is already fulfilled, not as pretense or affirmation, but as genuine embodiment so complete that the universe can only reflect back the reality you have become. The embodiment transformation guides you through this profound shift. Begin each morning by asking, "How would I move through this day if my desire were already fulfilled?" Let this question inform every interaction, every decision, every breath. When you speak, let your words flow from the consciousness of completion rather than seeking. When you move, let your body express the natural confidence of one who lives in the reality you wish to create. Chapter 29, The Master's Silence. In the mountains of an ancient land, the sage Zechariah sat in perfect stillness. Day after day, seekers journeyed vast distances not to hear profound teachings or receive sacred instruction, but simply to rest in the transformative field of his silence. Those who came with questions found their minds stilled before words could form. Those who arrive seeking guidance discover their answers arising naturally from within the sacred quiet of his presence. Through decades of inner cultivation, Zechariah had transcended the need for speech. His very being had become a clear portal through which divine wisdom flowed unimpeded. Pilgrims who spent even a few hours in his presence returned home fundamentally transformed, though no words had passed between them. This reveals the highest truth of manifestation mastery, that beyond all techniques and practices lies a state of such perfect alignment that your mere presence becomes a living channel for universal intelligence. In this elevated consciousness, you no longer make requests to the universe, for you have become one with the very force that fulfills all desires. In a small village, Henrietta lived in a modest home that mysteriously drew visitors from far and wide. Those who crossed her threshold reported spontaneous healings, profound revelations, and the dissolution of long-standing problems. Yet, Henrietta performed no healing rituals, offered no advice, prescribed no remedies. Through years of devoted spiritual practice, she had cultivated such pristine inner silence that divine presence naturally flowed through her, blessing all she encountered without conscious effort or intention. Her secret lay not in what she did, but in what she had become, a clear vessel through which universal intelligence could operate unhindered by personal will. To begin the portal of presence practice, create regular periods of absolute stillness in your daily life. Start with ordinary activities, washing dishes, walking, or sipping tea. Instead of filling these moments with thoughts or plans, allow yourself to become utterly present and receptive. Feel the sacred silence that exists beneath all action. Gradually extend this practice into all aspects of your life. Let each breath become an opportunity to deepen your inner quiet. As you master this art of living stillness, you'll discover that your very presence begins to transform environments and situations without any conscious effort on your part. Chapter 30, The Master's Secret Revealed. In the ancient palace archives, Alexandra discovered a sealed scroll, its edges gilded with symbols of sovereignty. As the newly crowned ruler of a kingdom in decline, she had searched desperately for solutions among countless strategic treatises and diplomatic records. Yet this particular scroll, passed down through generations of monarchs, remained unopened, waiting for the one who would understand its profound simplicity. Breaking the seal with trembling hands, Alexandra unrolled the parchment expecting elaborate instructions. Instead, she found a single line of text in the script of the kingdom's founder. Speak once with absolute authority, then maintain perfect silence, for the universe honors those who command with clarity and surrender with dignity. This reveals the ultimate secret of manifestation mastery, that your greatest power lies not in endless repetition or complex techniques, but in achieving such perfect alignment with universal law that a single command, spoken with absolute clarity and authority, carries more creative force than thousands of lesser requests. In the chambers of divine justice, King Solomon faced an impossible dispute between two merchants, each claiming ownership of a priceless gem. The court fell silent as Solomon closed his eyes, connecting to the infinite wisdom flowing through him. Opening them, he spoke of a single decree that not only resolved the immediate conflict but transformed both merchants' understanding of true wealth. Then he maintained perfect silence, allowing his aligned word to reshape reality without further intervention. Solomon's legendary wisdom lay not in clever solutions, but in his ability to achieve such perfect resonance with universal intelligence that his words became living commands, restructuring reality according to divine law. He understood that true authority requires not continuous assertion, but the dignity of silence after speaking with perfect alignment. This illuminates the highest truth of your journey, that when you speak from complete unity with universal law, even your whispered words carry more manifest power than the loudest demands of those who haven't mastered inner sovereignty. Your authority comes not from force, but from the perfect alignment of your consciousness with divine will. The sovereign command requires preparation. For 7 days, maintain dietary purity, meditate twice daily, and observe nature's cycles. On day 8 in solitude, speak your command with divine authority. Then keep 7 days silence, letting your word manifest undiluted. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you reach the conclusion of this sacred journey, you stand transformed, no longer merely practicing manifestation techniques, but having become the living embodiment of creative power itself. The ancient secret revealed through these chapters has awakened you to the profound truth that the universe hears your every desire with perfect clarity the first time it is uttered from an aligned consciousness, requiring no repetition or reinforcement, but only your unwavering faith in the perfect unfolding of divine intelligence. You now understand that the most powerful manifesting occurs not through complex rituals, but through achieving such perfect resonance with universal forces that your mere presence becomes a creative force, naturally organizing reality according to the highest expression of your divine nature. As you incorporate these teachings into your daily existence, you will witness the extraordinary becoming ordinary in your experience, not as occasional miracles, but as the natural expression of living in harmony with cosmic law. Remember that this wisdom was not given to elevate you above others, but to help you become a living channel through which abundance flows to all of creation. The universe has always been listening. It has simply been waiting for you to speak with the authority, clarity, and surrender of one who recognizes their true nature as a creator made in the image of the divine. As you close these chapters, know that you have not reached an ending, but a beginning. The first moment of living as the conscious co-creator you were always destined to become. If this message resonated, tap subscribe, not as a click, but as a quiet covenant, an agreement to meet in the stillness where we remember that one clear intention is enough. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.